Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into the world of GameFi and how AI could revolutionize it. You've shared this research paper, Decentralized Intelligence in GameFi, and
Yeah.
it's suggesting these incredible AI agents could totally change how we play and experience blockchain-based games.
Yeah, it's not just about, adding AI features on top of games. It's like this fundamental shift,
Yeah.
you know? Imagine playing a game where the non-player characters, the NPCs,
Mm.
are powered by advanced AI, like GPT-4.
So instead of those predictable scripted NPCs we're used to, these
Exactly.
AI-powered NPCs would be able to learn and adapt to our gameplay.
Exactly. They could become much more immersive and personalized, even surprising you with their actions.
Wow.
The paper's authors argue this could solve some big challenges GameFi is facing right now.
Yeah, you're right. I've noticed that myself. GameFi holds a lot of promise with earning real world value while playing games, but the gameplay often gets repetitive and the economic interactions can be limited.
Yeah, that's a common critique. And the researchers believe these embodied AI agents could be the key to a much richer experience.
Okay.
Imagine an NPC that understands your playstyle or even provides personalized quests.
That would be a game changer. It wouldn't just make the game feel more alive, it would make it more engaging and rewarding for each player.
Right.
But isn't there a risk of oversimplifying things? I mean, if an AI is managing my in-game finances, am I really learning about DeFi?
That's a valid concern, and the researchers acknowledge the need for transparency.
Yeah.
They suggest these AI agents could act as guides, helping players understand complex DeFi mechanisms without completely taking over.
Okay.
Think of them more like mentors who can offer advice and explain different strategies.
Okay, so they're not replacing human decision making, they're augmenting it.
Exactly.
That makes more sense. And it's not just about the individual player, right? They talk about empowering creators and communities as well.
Absolutely. Right now, a lot of GameFi platforms feel developer-centric. This research proposes a platform where creators could use AI agents to build content and actually monetize their creations.
That's amazing. Imagine the explosion of user-generated content and the
Yeah.
diversity that would bring.
Yeah.
We already see passionate modding communities in traditional games. This could take that to a whole new level.
And of course, there's the economic aspect.
Right.
The paper suggests deeply integrating DeFi mechanisms into the gameplay itself.
Okay.
Imagine AI agents that can guide players through things like staking, yield farming, and even decentralized governance.
That sounds really cool, but also complex.
Yeah.
Are there any real-world examples of this kind of integration already happening?
They do mention a few interesting examples.
Okay.
One is the DECO protocol, which is all about data security and trust.
Okay.
It allows users to prove that data came from a specific website without needing any server-side modifications.
That's crucial in a world where in-game items can have real-world value.
Right.
You need to know that information about assets and transactions is accurate and hasn't been tampered with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's Chainlink 2.0,
Okay.
which envisions these decentralized oracle networks, or DAWNs,
Yo.
that can connect blockchains to the real world.
Okay, now that sounds futuristic. What could that look like in a game?
Imagine hybrid smart contracts that can pull in real-world data or interact with other blockchains.
Wow.
You could have a game where weather conditions are affected by real-time weather data, or the in-game economy responds to global economic trends.
Wow, that would open up so many possibilities. It sounds like they're really trying to bridge the gap between traditional gaming and the world of Web3.
Yes, and they even go beyond theory by building a prototype to showcase their vision.
Okay.
It's early stages, but it already utilizes a smart contract for asset management and leverages Alchemy's API for blockchain interactions.
That's impressive. So they're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
Right.
This research paper seems incredibly thorough.
Yeah.
But are there any downsides or challenges they acknowledge?
They're very realistic about the challenges.
Yeah.
One of the biggest is scalability.
Right.
How do you ensure that these AI agents can interact with potentially millions of players without causing network congestion?
Yeah, blockchain networks can be notoriously slow and expensive, especially with complex computations.
Right. And then there's the question of maintaining decentralization while also leveraging the computational power needed for advanced AI.
So they need to balance the power and potential of AI with the core principles of blockchain technology.
Yeah.
Are there any potential solutions for these challenges?
They suggest a few things like off-chain computation, where some of the AI processing happens outside of the main blockchain.
So they're essentially taking some of the workload off the blockchain and having it report back its findings.
That's the idea.
Okay.
They also mention layer 2 scaling solutions, which are designed to handle more transactions and computations without compromising security.
This is all getting pretty technical, but I think it helps to understand the complexities involved.
Right.
It's not just about adding AI to a game, it's about building a whole new ecosystem.
And they're not limiting their vision to just building a new GameFi platform from scratch.
Okay.
They even explore the idea of integrating these AI agents into existing game environments using plugins.
So bringing this technology to games we already play, that
Uh,
would be huge.
exactly. Imagine playing your favorite online game, and suddenly the NPCs are intelligent, adaptable beings who can even interact with the blockchain.
We've covered a lot of ground already, but there's one more example from the paper that I'm really interested in.
Okay.
They mentioned this platform called Habitat. What's so special about it?
Habitat is a platform where researchers can train and test AI agents in realistic 3D virtual environments,
Okay.
even though it wasn't specifically designed for blockchain games.
So these AI agents can learn to navigate complex virtual worlds,
Yeah,
interact with objects, and even solve problems.
exactly. Now imagine combining that level of AI sophistication with the power of blockchain technology.
It's like bringing those AI-powered NPCs to life in a whole new way. They wouldn't just be reacting to pre-programmed scripts. They'd be learning and evolving based on their interactions within the game world.
And because it's all happening on a blockchain, those interactions would be transparent, verifiable, and could even contribute to the overall value of the game's economy.
This is all so fascinating. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with decentralized intelligence in GameFi.
We are just getting started.
Wow.
And with AI technology rapidly advancing, we can expect even more groundbreaking innovations in the years to come.
It's an incredibly exciting time for gaming and technology. But before we get too carried away, let's take a closer look at the prototype they developed.
Okay.
This is where things get really interesting because they've actually put these ideas into practice.
You're right. The prototype is where the rubber meets the road. It's a fascinating glimpse into how these concepts could actually work in a real game.
So what exactly did they build? What does this prototype actually do?
They focused on some core functionalities you'd find in any blockchain game, like asset management and player interaction, all within a blockchain environment. Think of it as a proof of concept.
So it's showing that these ideas aren't just pie in the sky, they can actually be implemented.
Exactly. They built a smart contract to handle the really important stuff, creating, owning, and transferring in-game assets.
Immutability and transparency are key in GameFi, especially when these assets can have real-world value. But how did they connect this smart contract to an actual blockchain?
They used Alchemy's API. It provides the tools and infrastructure to interact with the Ethereum network. So things like handling transactions, monitoring events, all of that is managed securely on the blockchain.
So if I'm playing this prototype game, I can create a unique item, trade it with someone else, and that transaction is recorded on the blockchain for everyone to see.
That's the idea. They even built a user-friendly interface so players could interact with the system easily. But it gets even more interesting when you consider how they incorporated the AI elements we talked about earlier.
Right. How did they actually get those AI agents working within the game?
They integrated them using external APIs, drawing from a repository of pre-trained AI agents. It's like plugging in these intelligent agents to demonstrate how they could influence the game.
So it's a modular approach. They're showing how AI and blockchain can work together without having to build everything from scratch.
Exactly. And it highlights the flexibility of their vision. This prototype is a great starting point, but the researchers are upfront about the fact that there's still a long way to go.
What are some of the areas they're focusing on for future development?
They talk about the need for more advanced gameplay mechanics, deeper DeFi integration, and of course further enhancements to scalability.
Let's break those down a bit. What kind of advanced gameplay could we see in the future of GameFi?
Imagine quests that change based on your choices, or AI opponents who learn from your strategies and adapt their tactics. We might even see cooperative gameplay, where players team up with AI agents to achieve common goals.
That sounds incredibly immersive. And what about DeFi integration? How could that be woven into the gameplay itself?
We could see things like staking, where holding certain in-game assets earns you rewards, or maybe lending platforms, where players can loan out their items. Yield farming, where you earn rewards by providing liquidity, could also become a popular element.
It's like bringing the world of decentralized finance into the game world, creating new ways to earn and interact with digital assets. But how can we be sure the blockchain can keep up as these games become more complex and attract more players?
Scalability is a huge challenge, and the researchers suggest looking at layer 2 solutions, like optimistic rollups or sidechains. These can process transactions off of the main blockchain, which reduces congestion and fees.
So it's about finding ways to make the technology more efficient without compromising security or decentralization. That makes sense.
Absolutely. Security is another crucial area. As we bring real-world value into these virtual worlds, we need to ensure that these systems are protected.
What are some of the security measures they suggest?
Comprehensive security audits are crucial to find and fix any vulnerabilities. They also recommend things like multi-signature approvals, where multiple parties need to sign off on important transactions.
That would definitely add another layer of protection. And they also talk about the need for a sustainable economic model, right?
Right. It's like creating a mini economy within the game.
Yeah.
You need to balance things like asset scarcity, liquidity, and player incentives to ensure the long-term health of the game.
This is a lot to consider, and it highlights just how much potential there is in this space. It feels like we're witnessing the birth of a new industry.
I think you're right. This convergence of AI, blockchain, and gaming is incredibly exciting. And it's not just about entertainment. It's about empowering players, fostering communities, and maybe even reshaping how we think about work and ownership in the digital world.
Before we wrap things up, I wanted to go back to the idea of bringing these advancements to existing games. They mentioned using plugins to achieve that, right?
Exactly. They're envisioning a future where even traditional games could benefit from this technology.
So instead of starting from scratch, they could integrate AI and blockchain elements into games people are already playing.
That's the idea. It's about gradually introducing people to these concepts, allowing them to experience the benefits within a familiar setting.
It's a brilliant strategy for making this technology more accessible and potentially driving wider adoption of Web3 concepts.
And it's not just about individual games, it's about building bridges between the traditional gaming world and the exciting world of Web3. Imagine players who are used to centralized platforms suddenly having access to decentralized ownership, transparent economies, and truly intelligent NPCs. It could be a paradigm shift for the entire industry.
It's amazing to think about the potential impact this could have, you know? We talked about the technical aspects and the challenges, but what about the bigger picture? How could this technology change gaming as we know it?
Yeah, it's not just about better graphics or more complex gameplay. It's like a fundamental shift in how we interact with these virtual worlds.
Yeah.
Imagine games where the line between player and non-player character becomes blurred, where AI is driving the narrative and the economy in ways we haven't even imagined.
That's a really interesting point. We've seen how AI is already changing industries like finance and healthcare,
Right.
but its impact on gaming could be truly transformative. It's
Yeah.
almost like science fiction is becoming reality.
And the implications extend far beyond entertainment. This convergence of AI, blockchain, and gaming has the potential to change how we think about work, ownership, and even the digital economy as a whole.
So it's not just about playing games for fun.
Right.
It's about creating new opportunities for creativity, collaboration, and economic empowerment.
Exactly.
It's about building a new digital world with its own rules and possibilities.
Precisely. GameFi, powered by decentralized intelligence, could become a breeding ground for innovation.
Wow.
I imagine a platform where players and creators can contribute to and benefit from the growth of these virtual worlds. Yeah, it's a very exciting prospect.
This all sounds incredibly promising, but as with any emerging technology, are there potential challenges we need to be aware of? What could go wrong?
You're right, it's important to consider the potential downsides.
Yeah.
One concern is the need for robust security measures.
Yeah.
As we bring real-world value into these games, we need to ensure that the underlying systems are protected from attacks and vulnerabilities.
We've seen how hacks and exploits can disrupt even established platforms. In a world where digital assets have real-world value, security is paramount.
Absolutely. Another challenge is ensuring fairness and transparency.
Right.
If AI is making decisions that impact gameplay and the in-game economy,
Yeah.
we need to make sure those decisions are unbiased and understandable to players.
So it's about building trust and accountability into these systems.
Right.
Players need to feel like the game is fair and that they understand the rules of engagement.
Right? And as these technologies continue to evolve, we need to have open discussions about their ethical implications. You need to ensure that these advancements benefit everyone and that we're not creating systems that perpetuate existing inequalities.
It's crucial that we approach this new frontier with both enthusiasm and caution. We need to be mindful of the potential risks while also embracing the incredible opportunities that lie ahead.
I completely agree. This is a powerful technology the potential to reshape the world.
Hmm.
It's up to us to guide its development in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
This deep dive has been truly eye-opening, We've gone from the theoretical underpinnings of decentralized intelligence to the practical challenges of building a new gaming ecosystem. We've even glimpsed into the potential future of gaming, a future where AI and blockchain technology play a central role.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I'm incredibly excited to see how this all unfolds in the years to come. This is just the beginning of a new era in gaming, and I think we're all in for some incredible surprises.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. This has been a truly valuable deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
And for all of you listening out there, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and given you a glimpse into the exciting world of decentralized intelligence in GameFi. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one building the next groundbreaking game or creating the next generation of AI-powered NPCs. The future is yours to shape. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep playing.